Let's take a look at another thing we can do by combining the plot with the same x data and different y data. Okay, so let's take a look at this potential example. Let's just define y1. Let's define y1 as cosine big X star 2, and let's just define our big X as the same thing as we had before, the small x. So let's just go ahead and define this as big X in this case. Okay, so this is y1. Let's do y2. It's going to be the same thing except times 3. So we're changing the amplitude. Okay, so I'm going to change the amplitude 3. I'm going to copy these again a couple more times. Paste. I'm going to define this as y3. I'm going to make this 4. And I'm going to call this y4 and make this 5 here. Okay. And then I'm going to use this concept that I had up here, where I'm going to plot, instead of using hold on, I'm going to do plot x, y1, x, y2, x, y3, x, y4. Okay. So if I do this, then technically I should be able to, if I typed everything correctly, and let me go ahead and make it a habit to do close all up here. Go ahead and run this. Okay, so I get this data here where I have part of the cosine for that period that we have here with different amplitudes. Okay, so if I maximize this, this is what the data looks like. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all being plotted on the same data set, on the same figure, excuse me. Now we can go and define this thing in a different way. I can go in here and say, okay, I'm going to do figure 2 here just so you can see what I'm talking about. And instead of saying plot xy1, xy2, xy3, and 4, I can define a z array, and I'm going to say y1 semicolon, y2 semicolon, y3 semicolon, and y4. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my caps. And now, instead of saying plot x versus all those, I'm going to say plot x versus z. Okay, if I do this, it's going to give me the same exact thing. So let's go ahead and run both of these again. So let's just a couple ways of coming up with the same solution. So I got figure 2 and figure 1. And if you take a look here, they're exactly the same. So the point here is that I can take this function, this code in line 38, or I can add line 40 and then run line 41, and both of these guys will give me the same output. Okay, so that's some of the flexibility of using plotting functions in MATLAB.